Right, if there is anybody there that can hear me, I am just having a bit of a play, guys. This isn't anything, I'm not a, yeah, I'm just having a play. Having a bit of a play. So I just thought I'd do it live, just whilst I have a play. But when I say have a play, I don't mean have a play of any games. Just trying to have a bit of a butchers with different things on this streaming setup, which I have spent copious amounts of cash on over recent weeks. Done all the mood lighting, you know, I've got a proper display lamp Dubry light, LED key light they call it a key light. Got one of them, got mood lighting, got another camera set up. I'm just going to give that a punt. I haven't got my mic connected to me, but hopefully you can hear me through the mic that's on my desk. Yeah. Hope you guys are having a decent week. It's only, yeah, it's Wednesday, isn't it? Wednesday already. How do we connect this up? Right, so I'm going to do a live plug-in. That's not a Glade plug-in, air freshener. It's a live plug-in. We do things differently on this channel. Most of it's shit, but we do things differently. So, for anybody that's remotely interested, so I've got a webcam, which is the main image of me. That's me. Oh, I've got two things here. I'm pointing that there. That's the webcam. It's not a very decent quality one actually, but it does make a big difference when you got a decent light. So, like I said, I've actually got I've got an Amazon key light that I bought, and I've bought this has gone mental. This has absolutely. I mean, it looks no better, I don't think, than what it ever did before, but it is learning stuff. So I've gone to Amazon, and I've bought a lot of shit. So I've got two yeah, what do you call them? Two stands that connect to the desk, and they're like on a C clamp, so you can put them on the edge of the desk, and it's a pole, and it's got a 1/4 inch thread on it, which means that I can connect cameras and lights to it. And I've got two poles. Said the actress to the bishop, or did the actor say that to the actress? I've got two poles. I'm using one of them at the moment with a key light. So I've bought an LED light box, I suppose, for want of a better term, word, descriptor. About 40, was it £45? I think I paid I paid for it off of Amazon. And you can change the temperature of the light, you can change the brightness, and it's rechargeable as well. So it's wireless at the moment, it's not plugged into the mains. And it goes mega bright. So if I turn the old, right, so I've got brightness, which basically it will overexpose like anything, but it goes very, very bright. Turn it all the way back down, not to off though, because that would be no use. You've got temperature, which can I change? Oh yeah, here we go. You might not be able to see that because I've got a load of contrast adjustment. I mean, you probably see it there actually changing me to being really pale. Yeah, so it goes to a blue light, but the cameras are on auto exposure, and that's on a warmer light now. But it's yeah, brilliant bit of kit for the money. Really, really good. So. And I've got some mood lighting as well, so I've got some LED, which is, apparently this is all the rage. So it's these contrasting, well, they're RGB bulbs effectively in desk lamps, and I've had the desk lamps for bloody ages. You've probably seen them on videos before on the back shelf that I used to use for lighting of me when I was filming myself, but I haven't used them for a while because I tend not to do video now in the when there's no natural light. But actually now I've got all this other lighting gear, it shouldn't make any difference. So yeah, so I've got some mood lighting just for the background, make it a bit more, you know, And actually, if I turn off the front LED light, it does make it a lot better. But because of the quality of the camera, certainly the webcam, it makes the picture not that great. It looks a bit, but then again, when it's just on the streaming stuff, I don't suppose it really matters. And then I've got the camera I normally use to video me if I'm doing a YouTube video, which is this one here, and that's pointing at the CRT. So that's no use to man or beast, but it's just a bit of a artistic fill-in, I suppose. A bit of filler. We all like a bit of filler. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to connect the Ossc up. I'm going to do that. Right. And I'm going to switch on my Pi, and I'm just going to play with a few settings on the Ossc. See what that does. Yeah, this has been quite a. It's been a bit of a addiction for me. This has. I've got to be honest. You get bored of things and you want to find out something new, and unfortunately, everything in my life that I want to do new costs me a load of bleeding money. But you know, you can't have an education without paying for it. So unfortunately, it means I have to buy stuff with Amazon and eBay. All pro with the lights. Yeah, well, you know, it's all an impression. All it is about the impression. I'm about as pro as a real bad person at this stuff, but I am learning. So yeah, it's all right. It's all right. And it just, I mean, this stuff doesn't cost a lot of money, if I'm being honest. Really. I'm doing a load of waffling here, and I'm not. Oh, this is going to be interesting. So I need that. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. Let's at least plug this in. Let's do something positive. Let's make sure my BVM works at least. Get picked up. Oh, it's got nothing plugged in. So here we go. Is that coming up on the old? Oh yeah, got an image. We got an image. I'm pointing at the wrong. I've got too many cameras here. I was going to go for the tried and tested. Let's move the mic over there. I was going to go for the tried and tested crotch cam, but I might get banned from YouTube for having that on. Where am I going to plug in this? Because I've run out of sockets. Problem is, I won't be able to. This is going to go all Pete Tong. This is. I need to sort out another. I definitely need to sort out another extension block. Why are you using Ossc and not the FrameMeister? Good question. Why am I not using it? Because if I'm being honest. Just make sure I've got power. Brilliant, I've got power. Right, I'm using the Ossc basically because it's the latest piece of equipment I bought. So I could have absolutely used the FrameMeister for what I'm doing here, because I'm not playing the HD. I'm not playing off a HD screen. I'm going from a CRT and then into the device that goes to my capture card, which in this case is the Ossc. So yes, I could have used the FrameMeister. It would have made no difference in reality, but I have been meaning to buy the Ossc. I do need to do a video on it. I know there's a gazillion of them on eBay. On YouTube, but I do want to do a review on it and compare it, you know, in my opinion, compare it against the FrameMeister. And I've actually got I've got something else as well for, okay, it's not a replacement for the Ossc, but it's similar to what it does and what it can do, and it's a hell of a lot cheaper, but it's a bit more limited, but it's absolutely fine for retro gaming in my opinion, or it should be fine. I'll find out once I've built it. and then I started testing it. So in short, there is no real reason other than the fact this is a new bit of kit for me. So I did want to use it, and because it's out, then it's handier for me to use. But I do have my Frame Meister, but it's either in the drawer there, it's in the pile of boxes behind me, or it might be in the room next door with my arcade machines. I don't know where. So that is the reason, and no other real reason other than that. Right, okay, I think we're getting there nearly. Right, so I've got the Ossc. What we're going to do next then, we are going to take the Ossc, we need to feed that HDMI to go to another capture card. So at the moment, I've got plugged in 2 capture cards into my PC. And what I haven't, because I haven't spoke about this streaming setup, and I know I'm not showing you anything specifically, and I won't have any links because this is just a stream. And I wouldn't mind doing a video on this, I suspect, because there's a fair bit involved in this. But again, just to highlight, it doesn't have to be a dear setup. So I'm using 2 USB capture devices that you can buy on eBay. I bought these off eBay, and they were about £13.50 each. And they're bloody brilliant because they work. They work really, really well. So both these images that you're seeing on both the cameras are off these cheap eBay USB dongle type video capture devices, and they take a HDMI input. So long as you feed it HDMI, it work. And yeah, so I've bought 2 of them. Cost me 26 quid. If you were to buy something like an Elgato, they're like well over 100 quid. Elgato, I think, do a similar device to these. These are effectively a rip-off, I think. It's something called a Camlink, which is an Elgato USB device. And they're like 150 quid. Get them off eBay. I think the thing with eBay is finding the right products, because you can get, you can buy cheap and it works. So, right, I need to now change my inputs on here, and I should get a signal through here, hopefully. So let's change the input. There we go, syncing. Why is that not showing? What's going on here then? Wrong one. Wrong one. Ask Crack Cam. Nice one, Stevie boy. Yes, the Ask Crack Cam. Yeah, I was going to try. Who's that? I was going to try that. What am I doing here? That should come on. Something blown up. That's syncing, so that's getting the device. Is it because it's oh, it might come on now. Come on, baby. I don't look like it's See, this is the problem when you trial something and you haven't tried it before. It doesn't work. Right, we're gonna have to. Oh, I wonder if it's because. Right, so I've never tried 2 devices. I reckon that's struggling. Okay, that's going to be an interesting thing for me. I'm going to have to try and sort out. Oh, what's it in now? That's gone black. So is it doing something? Oh, good work. Oh, beautiful. Got there. Right, so that does work. So we've got 2 of the USB devices connected. Both of them picked up. All having a play. Retropie. So why haven't I tried a Retropie? Based on the testing I've done, based on the research that I've done, I don't think it gives me anything more than what I've got at the moment. And it's certainly not worth me buying one. But then again, I thought that about the Ossc. Let's try and plug this mic in now. I thought that about the Ossc, but I still ended up buying it. So, right. So let's have a. Are we getting a video signal on there? That's coming through. Yeah, it could be there. Oh, the only thing I want to try actually is. Do I need to bother about that? So on the Ossc, you can change the clarity, I suppose, in simple terms, of the output resolution to make it really crystal clear and sharp. And to be fair, on the captures, it comes through pretty clean anyway. I mean, that looks pretty decent. Got audio plugged in. What was I going to put on? Afterburner. Let's give this a punt. So if you're just joining, anyone that's just joining, this isn't a formal stream. It's just a bit of I'm just playing with things and just having a bit of chat about the setup that I've got. I bought some new gadgets and I'm just trying them out just now. And I thought, you know what, let's do it live. How much? Oh, is that? Right, so that sounds like it's coming from your mic. The mic's picking it up. It's not going for desktop audio. Oh, it's bloody every time I come into this, I have to change the settings on it. How much are your sources loading up? How much are the sources loading up your PC? What do you mean, Jan? Do you mean in respect of wow, let's turn that, that's way too loud, that is. Yeah, what do you mean by that, Jan? Can you give a bit more context? Daz, not this bloody emulation again. Fucking hell, coming from you, mate. Jesus. Christ, you're the king of emulation, weren't you? Or you are still? No, just testing the stream setup, mate. I've just spent about another gazillion £1 on it, so I'm just doing a bit of a live test and having a bit of a waffle about it. Yeah, nothing majorly exciting. I've got about 49 cameras set up, 29,000 RGB lights, all the gear, no idea. That's pissing me off, that is. Yeah, there are some. I do find that there are some, you know, nuances, shall I say, to OBS. So OBS is the software that I'm using as the means to get all this useless imagery together to send it to YouTube effectively to stream. And a couple of things I have to keep changing every time I load up OBS. Yeah. And it's around the audio and where it captures. Ah, I know why. I know why that's not working. I know. Anyway, let's come back to the comments. Would you recommend a particular front end for a home arcade setup? A particular front end for a home arcade setup? James, depends what you mean by that. Are you talking about on an arcade machine? You talking about on a HD screen setup? Is it like a Pi or something? Give me a bit more context and I'll try and give you some useless information about that. Vodka Martini, how do you connect Retropie to Ossc? Right, so I'm fairly lucky because I've got a Sony BVM, and I think you can get this capability on some PVMs as well, but on nearly all BVMs I can feed my BVM an analog signal. Yeah, so I'm playing my Pi is, or actually any console, any SCART console, I'm feeding direct into my BVM via BNC. There's a whole there's a whole bloody spaghetti junction that's going through to get to that. But effectively, I feed my BVM with BNC connectors. I'm using BNC connectors to get RGB into my BVM. My BVM has pass-through BNCs, so it has an input and output on the same RGB lines. So I feed everything into the BNC connectors on the back of my BVM on the input side for RGB, and then opposite those I've got output BNC connectors. I go from those into my Ossc. So I basically have a pass-through on my CRT monitor, which means that I can play natively on my CRT and get none of these problems with lag, processing lag. I'll play off that, and I loop through then to go through to my Ossc, which then goes to my video capture device on my PC. So that's what you guys see. But I'm playing off my CRT, or when I'm doing my streaming, I'm playing off my CRT. That's an advantage for me because I've got a BVM, or I've got the ability to be able to pass through RGB signals. If you haven't got that, then you have to go down a route of splitting the RGB signal. So you can get a unit, a box, whatever you want to call it, that will accept an RGB signal. It will accept an input, and it will give you various numbers of outputs of that single input. Ossc channel, who normally frequents my my streams as I do his, he's just bought that setup because he hasn't got pass-through facility on his PVM, and normally those units, those boxes you buy, which are effectively multi-outs from one input, also amplify the signal as well, because what you can tend to or what you find is that if you try and effectively you're looking to splice a signal to multiple outputs, you need to amplify the signal, else you tend to lose, or you can lose clarity and signal strength. So it's if you're looking to do that kind of thing where you're looking to split between two devices, so if you've got a console, you want to feed a CRT, play off that, but also feed a capture device, it can tend to get a little bit more complex. It's not overly complex, but it's it is something you need to consider. So yeah, that's how I do it the easy way, I think, because I've got a BVM where I'm able to pass through, so it's all right for me. So Jan, you have 3 inputs being encoded and sent out to YouTube. 3 inputs. Yes, I have. Yeah. So on this particular stream now, it's having 2 video inputs. I'm going to watch the battery power on my video camera. Should have plugged it in, but yeah. So I've got a webcam. I've got a video camera, which is this one here, there, and I've got the video capture from the Ossc, and that looks like it's bloody screen tearing again. This is oh, I thought I'd sorted this out. Let me just have a butcher's at this. No, that's not it. Properties. Right, so what did I see, that's weird. See if that hopefully that'll stop that. It better do. That looks like it stopped that screen tearing. Sorry, that was distracting me. And again, this is some of these nuances between the different devices you use. Capture devices, Ossc, the way that's set up, and anyway. Back to the comments. James, so just using Launchbox at the moment on PC HD screen. Well, I've got to be honest, that from a PC perspective, I've got Launchbox. I haven't really spent a lot of time setting it up, but it looks pretty straightforward for what it is from a PC, you know, front end. I'd be tempted to stay with that. It is what I've actually bought. I bought a license for it actually over Christmas. No, it was over the on the Black Friday sales, because I've been meaning to buy it for some time to set it up properly. So I bought the license for it, and that'll be that's on my list of things to do. So I'll probably get around to actually setting that up in about 3 or 4 years' time. But no, that is the one that I've bought, and I did a bit of research on it, and it seemed like the most straightforward one to use. It looks pretty decent, you know. So yeah, stick with that if I was you, really. Right, I'd like to build a cabinet with either a PC or a 360 and use X-Arcade 2-player controller. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know how much the arcade cabinets are nowadays. So it depends whether you want to go retro in respect of a CRT or you're happy with a normal LCD setup. Obviously the latter is well, it's not LCD anymore, because I'm showing my age. It's LED nowadays, isn't it? Is that the latter is the most easiest to set up, and I'd probably be tempted to suggest that if you're going to go down that route, you'd probably be better off getting something like a arcade 1-up setup, because then you've got the cabinet, you've got the control panel, you've got the monitor, and you could connect, you know, things up to that. So, and that'd be a good basis to, you know, to work off. And they're pretty, you know, small and self-contained as units. They're not like a full-size arcade cabinet and all the space that they require. So that would be a, you know, if you want to go down that route, then that would be a pretty decent route, I think, to take if you were going, you know, if you weren't bothered about going down a CRT route or the full arcade cabinet, which is an expense. I think nowadays they're pretty dear. The arcade, I haven't looked recently how much they're going for, arcade cabinets. I mean, yeah, I don't think you can beat the arcade cabinet setup. You know, an original arcade setup if you want that arcade experience, but it costs money. They take a lot of space, and they will potentially need a fair amount of maintenance, or they'll definitely need maintenance. It's not like, you know, modern screens and you know, that don't really go wrong, really. You know, certainly not like the old arcade cabinets, but yeah. Right, do I get high CPU usage in OBS? I've got a problem with my, well, I say problem, I think it's a nuance with my setup. I don't know if it's a motherboard issue, but I do regularly get high CPU usage when I fire up Chrome, and when I fire up certain applications. And I think there might be a bug on my motherboard or something. It's a hardware thing, it's not software, because I've reinstalled the OS and everything, and it still does the same thing. So I can't really, I do get it occasionally on OBS where I get 100% on every core. It just goes flat lines every core, and I've got 8 physical cores, 16 threads. So I can't, but normally if I look now, I have, oh shit, it's at 100%. It's at 100% now across all cores. But that's a fault. So let me do a reset on that on the processes. Right. So that's now down to with everything plugged in. That's 9% average across the whole CPU. So that's nothing really. James, other question I had is, can any CRT TV be used at 90 degrees? Yes, theoretically. There's no technical reason why you can't rotate a CRT. What you may get if you rotate a CRT is magnetisation, and it is because, believe it or not, that the north and south pole magnetisation that we have on planet Earth, you can get monitors that are sensitive to that. And actually, when you rotate a screen, it can affect the screen because of the magnetic field around the monitor. Weirdly enough, it sounds like, yeah, you're talking shit, but it can. And what happens then is you get funny colours, or you can get funny colours in the corners of the CRT when you rotate it. However, I suspect 95 to 99%, if I wouldn't say 100%, but massive majority of monitors that are still functioning right here, right now, have a de-gauze circuit in them. So when you turn them off and turn them back on, is that they'll demagnetize the field around the tube and a CRT tube. I don't know if when you turn on a monitor or you turn on a TV, occasionally you hear that. It's like a electric sort of like weird. It's like, I think anyone that just heard what I just said or did will recognise that type of. That probably comes off totally crap on the mic, but you hear it. You can hear it at times firing up the de-gauze circuit, and that is there to get rid of any rainbow effect because of magnetisation. But that is the only potential side effect you'll get from rotating. I haven't had that myself on any screen personally, but I have seen it, so it does and can happen. But yeah, no reason for that whatsoever in respect of why you can't rotate. I'm a fabricator, so building one isn't a problem. Well, you can actually, if you do some research, and I suspect it wouldn't take much research, there'll be plans on the internet in respect of how to cut the panels and what size and shapes and so forth. So it wouldn't take long, I don't think, to get all that sorted. If you do fabrication, then that would be fairly straightforward, I would have thought, if you wanted to go down that route. Vodka Martini. Where can I buy a used arcade cabinet these days? Good question. I would suggest personally, I mean you can look on eBay. Again, I don't know what there is on eBay nowadays in respect of arcade cabinets. There's two places, a lot of forums that I would suggest that you can have a look on in respect to the for sale parts of those forums. One is, no, actually there'd be three. So there's one called, I think it's Shmups 11. Let's have a look. Yeah, shmups.system11.org. That's one. If you go in their for sale forum, you got UK VAC. I don't know if it's called UK VAC because I haven't been on there for donkeys. Yeah, UK VAC, so ukvac.com there. And the other one is Arcade Otaku, I think that's it, Otaku. Yeah, forum.arcadeotaku.com. The Arcade Otaku, UK VAC, are both UK sites. Shmups 11, I don't think that is UK, but there's people on there from the UK. So yeah, so they're the three places, and of course you got eBay as well. I'm sure there's plenty of other forums, but those are the ones that that I know about. There used to be some people that used to sell them actually, that had and not virtual stores, but did have have businesses selling arcade cabinets. One was AGS. Andy, I can't remember his name. I can't remember what the website was now. There was another one called, which I think is still going, Giz 10p. Yeah, still going. Now, I don't know if he's got any arcade cabinets. He sells all the parts. So you could try www.giz10p, as in 10p.co.uk. Yeah, that will give you some pointers to start your search if you're looking at arcade cabinets, without a doubt. Arcade cabinets, are they more rare than, say, 10 years ago? I bet they're bloody more expensive. I suspect they are. I suspect they are. It's like everything. Anything to do with gaming or certainly retro gaming. Arcade will be the same, I suspect. Prices are shot up, and equipment's got rarer to get hold of. So yeah, I don't know the market at the moment for arcade machines. I've got no idea. I keep threatening to basically throw mine out the window because I just don't play them. They're a fantastic thing to have, and it's always one of these things that you've got to, if you're into gaming, I think it's an itch you got to scratch. It's one of them things you just got to do. You know, if you ever have the opportunity to do it, get an arcade machine. But yeah, it's I suspect they're not cheap. I think mine, yeah. I'm not even going to go down that road of saying how much mine cost me. I'll end up crying. James saying less space than having a dozen consoles jammed into my attic. Well, yeah, there is that, absolutely. Problem is, I've got 3 arcade games next door. I've got a sit-down racer, not an arcade setup, but for my consoles and gaming PC. And I've got bloody consoles in here in drawers. I've got stuff in the bloody attic. I've got stuff in the shed, in the garage. I need to buy a shed actually, so I'll get some more room. It's yeah. So I've gone full, like I've just gone over the top, like I normally do with anything. But yeah. So don't go down my road. Don't think that's a reason to. Oh well, you know what? Man maths states that I can get an arcade cabinet. It'll take up less room than all my consoles, or having a load of consoles. Trouble is, I ended up collecting both of them, so it didn't do me any good, did it? Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, you know, you're saying that you can get the problems once you turn your monitor off. If you rotate, turn it back on again, the problems will disappear. That's effectively because of the inbuilt degauss facility, which happens when you turn on off. But what you normally find as well is that you've got to leave it off for a while for everything to discharge, because it's got to cool down, because you can't keep running the degauss circuit because it'll overheat, and you'll be having a 3-bar electric fire going around your monitor, which isn't the greatest thing you want to do if it kept on degaussing every time you know, if you did rapid succession of turning on and off. So normally you have to leave them, or normally if you leave it overnight and then turn the monitor back on the following day, it should clear all of the rainbow colours. But yeah. Are you still selling your cab, Sean? Am I still? I didn't realise I was officially selling them, to be honest, mate. I think I did mention it. I've mentioned it a few times, haven't I? I'm not going to purposely sell my cabs. I'm not going to make a decision to say, right, that's it, get shot of them. I might. I think part of the intention of what happened with the Raspberry Pis, that I bought about 94 million of them. That is an over-exaggeration. But I have got 3 of them. I bought 3 of them after I saw what the Pi was like on the CRT. I thought, you know what? I might actually not junk, well actually there's, but there's an element of truth to me saying that. I might get shot of my Hori cab and keep the vertical one. Because I could do with getting some of the space back if I'm being honest. I've got more junk to fit in there now, but but you know, likelihood, am I going to sell my cabs? Probably not, if I'm being honest. I'm a bloody hoarder, always have been. It's why I've never got rid of my gear this time round. And what I mean this time round, I mean since I started getting back into this properly in like 2009, I think 2008, 2009, and I just hoard stuff now. I don't sell stuff now. I don't chuck stuff out. I used to be terrible for that. So I don't think, in all honesty, I'll get rid of them. I'm sort of half. Part of the reason for me doing the stuff with the Pi is that if one of my cabinets goes for a Burton, I have got a spare chassis, to be honest, but that needs repairing. So I've got the likelihood, there's a strong likelihood that a chassis may go and need repairing. And there's less and less people that can repair them. I do know people, but it's just getting more of a pain in the arse. And the problem is when something becomes a pain in the arse to me, I end up losing interest. And that normally doesn't bode very well for the thing that I've lost interest in. Now, luckily, I'm talking about things, material items, and not women or other humans. But I normally end up taking them down the tip, and that's bad. I mean, that's not great. You know, the throwaway culture in this household has been quite strong for a few years, or certainly historically it was. I literally took an arcade. I mean, and this is no bullshit. I've binned 2 arcade cabinets in my time. One here in this house and one in a previous house. I've actually smashed them up, hoofed them in the back of the car and ran them down the tip. I'm not about to do that again right this minute, but yeah, so it depends what happens. It depends what happens. But I've got 3 cabinets next door, and I just don't use them. I just don't use them. I've played more retro gaming since I've been doing the streaming than I've done for. I literally can't remember the last time. So that's why I don't mind actually doing the streaming stuff now. You know, I don't do it all the time, but you know, once every couple of weeks, and it's a laugh. You know, playing games and having a bit of interaction, getting drunk. It's always, you know, what more do you want when you're in lockdown? I mean, there's not a fat lot else to do, is there, really? But so yeah, that was a very, very long-winded response to your question, Darren. Yeah. I have threatened to do it, but I think part of that was to go, well, actually, if I buy some more pies. And I'll buy some more Pi to RGB converters, and I could. It was just another. It wasn't. Well, no, there was some good intention there to potentially have backup as well. You know, I've had problems recently with I say, you know, I don't play stuff that often now on my original arcade. On my original consoles, and it almost feels like every time now I get an original console out, it doesn't work. It stops working. So I on one of the previous streams on I think it was the one but last stream that I did, I was doing that with my Saturn equipment. With my Saturn. I've got 2 Saturns. I've got a UK one and a Japanese one. And for some reason, and I did go through this with someone else the other day, and I can't remember, but there was a reason why I wanted to use the UK one. And oh no, that was it. Sorry, I've got the Japanese one out. I was going to use the Japanese one. Yeah, original launch Japanese. It's my original Saturn that I bought on launch of it in Japan. I had it the same month, so it's like 1994. It's 26 years old. Fired it up, and the picture's starting to go dim on it. I only just noticed it, but I don't play it that often. Now, it could be that it's always been like that, but I don't think it has. In fact, I know it hasn't, because it's actually getting a minor sync issue. And if you leave the console on for, I don't know, just 5-10 minutes, then the sync issue goes, but the picture is still a bit dim. I have to crank the contrast up on the BVM. So I know there's an issue with it, and it'll be cap related. So I'll have to do a cap replacement on it. And it's just a ball ache. It's just, you know, I've got better things to do than replace bleeding caps on flaming consoles. So I'm being a bit of a drama queen here when I say every time I pull a console out, but you know, I get a problem. That, you know, there is an element of truth to that. So of course, that's why I started to look at more seriously about emulation. I've got gear here, again, all the gear, no idea, and I haven't done any proper videos on it yet to explain what it is and what it does and how it compares. So obviously I've done things on the Pi, on my RGB setup for Pi, which is, I'm blown away by how good it is, in my opinion. It's brilliant for what it is, for what it cost. It's a bloody no-brainer. If you buy all the, you know, you buy a decent controller, it's a low lag, you get the RGB converter for a Pi. It's brilliant. It's so versatile, easy, works, no stress, you know. Plug straight into the CRT, job done. I've got the FPGA setup as well, you know, which is mega expensive, cost me well over 300 quid. And that's using the hardware emulation, you know. But this is why I went down that road, because I thought, you know what, I'm going to get to a point where my console stock is going to die on me. And again, you know, elements of that have been a little bit of a drama queen, but there are, you know, there's an element of truth to that thought process, and that's why I started to get looking at the emulation stuff. A lot of people on my channel, or a lot of you guys watching, if you watch videos from the beginning, is that you'll understand my views that I've had on emulation. I've never really been against emulation, but it's never been my bag, purely because the you know, I don't think it's, I like the authenticity, you know. And there have been issues with emulation in the past. You know, it's not been as good as what you can get nowadays, and it definitely didn't used to be as good as using original hardware. I mean, that's just, it is what it is, sort of thing. But nowadays, emulation has improved greatly. The lag, certainly when you go through a CRT, and that's the thing that was a game changer for me, playing it on my TV, you know, playing it on a TV, playing it on my CRT, and it's really responsive. But it's not just about the emulation device; it is also about the controller you use. You know, don't use wired controllers. Don't use Xbox 360 controllers or Xbox. They're shit. They're dog shit compared to low latency controllers. And one of the problems I used to have with emulation, I could feel the game being off. I could feel the latency, whether it was the emulation, whether it was because of the controller, whether it was because of the screen. I could feel the latency. It was real to me, and I noticed it, and it was a big thing to me. It put me off emulation. So these are the reasons really why I haven't spent a lot of time, or I haven't got a lot of love for emulation, but that's changed more recently, without a shadow of a doubt. And I think it's great. I think for what it is, it's absolutely brilliant. It's easy to use, you know, and it's bloody stress-free, you know. You start using devices like, and I know there's a massive, and actually there's a massive conflict of opinion when it comes to Pi versus FPGA. I've got my own views on that, and I'll share that on a future video. But it's even between the emulation crew, there's like, you know, it's not just original hardware versus emulation. Even between sides of emulation there, you know, whether it's hardware or software. There's, oh yeah, but that's not as accurate as this, and it's like, you know, really, you know, it's yeah, and it is subject. The whole thing is subjective, and I'll get anybody that has an opinion on it, because at the end of the day, it's an opinion, and it is subjective. I would, you know, there's elements of, you know, some things are objective, but there's a lot of subjectivity over it. So it's whatever floats your boat, really, at the end of the day. But I am leaning more towards emulation purely because of the ease of it, and you can still play games. So what's the deal about it? So we're talking about emulation, Darren. That's it. I'm blinking off on a tangent for about 15 weeks. Jan, I gave away my Blast. You gave away your Blast City. That sounds as bad as me, that does. But kept all the PCBs. Didn't have the room, sadly. Using a super gun with my PVM works great, and the next best thing. Yeah, I you know, because I'm an old git. My mate of mine had a super gun when, I don't know when I actually don't know when super guns come out. It must have been in this era. I mean, we're going back when God was born, I think. But you know, in the same era as the Neo Geo and you know, a Super Famicom, PC Engine, Mega Drive. Super guns were out back then, because I remember, because my mate had one, and at the time I had a Woody cabinet, and it was Kung Fu Master. Jesus Christ, that was going back a bit. CRT on that was about that big, I think. It was one of those sort of, because Kung Fu Master's it's a vert game, isn't it? Kung Fu Master. Or is it horizontal? It's vert. I'm sure it's vert, isn't it? That's going to bug me, that is. Kung Fu Master. Is it vert? Oh no, it's horizontal. Is that horizontal? Oh, it is horizontal, yeah. What do I think it was vertical for? I mean, it looks at me. Because it's quite skinny, isn't it? It's a weird sort of, it's vertical, but it's actually quite square, isn't it? I thought that was a vert monitor I had it on. Okay. I know it was small though, and we're going back like a million years. But yeah, and at the time, and my mate had a super gun, and it was, and I used to remember, because we had the Neo Geo. He had a Neo Geo as well at the time. He had Neo Geo, and he had this super gun with all these PCBs hanging out the back of it, like, you know. But yeah. And of course they're really small nowadays. Back in the day, you know, super guns were like the size of a desk. Okay, they weren't that big, but nowadays they're like little units. I mean, you can get them. They're virtually the same as okay, they're a bit bigger, but they're not that much bigger than an OSSC. It's, yeah, you can get them really small now. But yeah, I get the super gun approach, absolutely. Vodka Martini, do you have that Sony BVM on a book or something, because it looks angled up in the picture? No, it's not on a book. It's the angle of the camera. The camera's on the in fact, it's probably not. Hello, you're right. It's probably not that. Yeah, it's the angle. It's quite bent. Yeah, the camera's a little bit bent, but it's no, it's not on a book. No, it's not in the book where it's leaning up, where you get, no, it's a boring angle. Bloody good monitor, that is, next to me, that's the oldest thing in this house, I think. I bet it is. Is that actually factual? Is it the oldest thing? I bet it is. I bet it is, you know. I bet that's the oldest thing. I reckon it's about 85, that BVM. And I tell you what, it's been, I mean, it's like a tank, this thing is. It's built like, and the picture is just unbelievable, especially for the age of it. Mega. I I was so lucky getting that. Absolutely. I mean, that was a peach of a find, that was, and for what it cost me. And I've said this about 50,000 times before, but I'm quite proud of the fact I bagged this for 40 quid, 40 or 45 quid. I had to go to Wales to pick it up. I'd have gone to Scotland to pick it up for 45 quid. I mean, these things are like over £1,000 nowadays. But brilliant, absolutely outstanding. And I do think that every time I switch on will be the last time it ever gets switched on, because it's going to go bang next time. But the picture's just mint. It's. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm saying all this. I think next time I switch it on, it will go bang, won't it? But again, see, part of the problem that I've got is, okay, it might be slight protection for me, but I've got CRTs in quite a few rooms in this house. Not every room. Mrs. Go for head. But I've got something like, well, in the house I've got I've got two B&Os in the house, not used. I've got one downstairs in the shoe cupboard. I've got one next door in the gaming room, really, you know, the arcade room. Is my battery going to blow up yet? No, it's still going. Yeah, so that's in the house. I've got two in the house, and then I've got TVs that I can use. Oh, I've got this CRT here actually. I've got on top of the BVM. I've got a VGA monitor, Super VGA monitor, PC monitor. In the garage, I've got I've got a PVM, and I've got two Sony TVs and another PC monitor. That's CRT, and I've got a spare tube for one of my arcade machines. It'll actually it'll fit both of them actually, because it's the same tube, same fitment. So yeah, so if the BVM goes down. If it goes down, I've got a few CRTs I can replace it with. But I was saying to someone the other day that the difference between a BVM or a PVM, to be honest, and a normal CRT tube is pretty marked. It's a big difference. And I think that if I ever look at a CRT tube again next to this BVM, it will look absolute shite. It will look like composite video, I think, because of the lack of clarity between a PVM or especially a BVM, because everything's sharper than a CRT. But you know, if it dies, it dies, doesn't it? I'm going to die one day. I'm going to make sure I got one of those labels on me saying "Don't resuscitate." Don't want any of that. So yeah, so we have right. So what I was going to do was I was going to try and have a bit of a play with the old Ossc with the output resolution and the sharpness of the picture. Now that I know that these come over on YouTube pretty well, to be fair. But we can sharpen it up. Now I don't know what output this is on. So let's have a look. Can we get okay? And actually we can share the menu. Oh, what happened there? Jesus, how come the bloody lights went out? My lights have gone off. What's going on here? Is there a bloody timer on these bulbs or something? Ooh. Could that be something that I found? No, that can't be right. I've had these on all day. What the hell's going on here? Hold on, guys. Hold on. I'll be back in a sec. Weird. Got flashing lights now. Look, something's gone wrong there. It's like I've done a reset on something. Oh, here we go. That's a bit weird, isn't it? Right, if you suffer from epilepsy, don't look at this bloody screen. Let me sort this out. Oh, right. So, what do we have? I can't remember what colour that was now. Bit of that. And bit of that in it. Is that right? Was it there? Or was it purple? Yeah, is that right? Yeah, that's better. That was weird, weren't it? What happened there? Went mental. Right, so let's look at these. Let's have a quick look at the outputs on here before we get distracted again and another bulb blows up. So I've got plenty of batteries left. Oh shit. Okay, sorry. That's because I'm going through the inputs and I've pressed the wrong button. Have I just gone for a... think I've knackered something up there. Shite. I'm having slight technical issues here. Just like to bear with me for a second. Oh, that's gone off again. What's that gone off for? Someone got another remote control. Christ. So we'll get there in a minute, folks. Just entertain yourself for a while. What was that? I think blue. Getting too stressful, this is. Right. So we're going to look at the output we've got to. What's going on here? Let's try it again. Let's do a reset. Oh, come on. Right, that's better. Right, we're there. We're there. We're back again. So what we were going to do was look at the output resolution, weren't we? So what we can do is, let's get the old menu back up. It's gone off. What the? Oh God. Anyway, right, we're gonna have to make do with no pretty lights because something's gone Pete's on. Output, right? Okay. Here we go. So we got line 2. So we go line 3. Which gives a bit of a compressed image, and that looks like it's got scan lines on it, by the looks of it, which it shouldn't have. Let's turn that off. We don't want scan lines. What the fuck? Okay, let's not worry about that. Let's go times 4. Sure, that's got scan lines on it. And then we've got times 5, which is the... Oh, yeah. Is that... I thought I had it on... I'm not sure if I had it on times 5 before. Perhaps I didn't. Just look, it's got scan lines on. So you can overlay scan lines on this. Ah, that's it. That's just turned them off, hasn't it? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you can actually overlay even on your video output. Overlay scan lines. Doesn't look that great on YouTube. So I have now turned that off. So that is on the sharpest image that I can get. So that actually looks more like an emulated, which obviously it is. It's on emulation, but that looks like what I would call an emulated look because it's very pin sharp. But it is on what I can see on my, and I've got a bloody screen tear again. I don't know why that does that, you know. It pisses me off. I don't know why it does it. Why? Does that fix it? Match. Let's try that. No, that's not screen tearing there. That's all right. Seems a bit. The bloody lights have gone on again, and they're flaming different colour. Someone pressing it. It's like someone else has got one of these remote controls because they're universal remote controls. What if my missus is messing about with them? Oh well, okay. We've got a slightly different colour in the background now. It'll do. It'll do. It's not perfect. Future Matt 5. Finally you signed in. Where you been? Karate Champ was vertical. We're not on about Karate Champ, we're on about Kung Fu Master. Wake up. Nick Longer 27. Hi Sean, have you got your pie out again? That's a bit of a personal question, isn't it? Yeah, so we've again, I'll just repeat this for the sake of everybody knowing. And this isn't a proper stream. This is very, very much impromptu. I was looking to test some, and I've just looked at the bloody time. It's blinking 23 minutes past 9 for effing sake. This was just a bit of a sort of live test, really. I've bought all sorts of new gear. I've got multiple cameras now. I've got multiple capture cards. I've gone out and got I suppose you could call it a professional LED key light in front of me that's lighting me up. I've got bloody poles everywhere with shit hanging on them. I've got mood lighting which just turns bloody off on its own. Let's just turn this back. Perhaps it's getting pissed off with the colours. Fucking weirdness, isn't it? They'll go off in a minute. They've been fine. I've had these on in the daytime as well when I'm doing Zoom meetings when it's been quite dark or quite low light. It looks pretty good. People have been pretty impressed. I mean, I don't say I'm doing YouTube stream and I get sacked, I think. But yeah, so we've gone all out now on this channel. We've gone for the full streaming hoof. I'll get it all test set up now and I'll never use it again. So yeah, so we've got a camera here that's going on looking at the CRT. So you can at least see the real CRT, a real CRT working there, but it's just for a bit of added effect, really. Yeah, so I've just been trying stuff, and actually, you know, people have been asking about things to do with the setup and stuff, and we've just been having a bit of a chat as well. So it's been quite good, actually. Alexa lights off. Yeah, I shouldn't. I haven't got Alexa. I haven't got it. So it's definitely not that. I think someone's having a giraffe. I think it's weird, that, isn't it? I mean, I did buy them off eBay, to be honest. So obviously, you know, they're crap. But no, they are actually. I mean, they are pretty bright. I think they're 20-watt LEDs, full RGB. It's like a disco in here when I get going. The unplanned ones are the best ones. Let's go. Yeah, well, I'm going to be honest. We've been going now for an hour and 10 minutes. I was only going to be doing about 30 minutes, I think, just to check some stuff and have a bit of a chat and make sure everything was coming over okay. But it's sort of expanded a bit from there, I think. But anyway, it's all a good laugh. And actually, on this stream, I'm not getting drunk. Yes, I'm drinking, but it is straight Monster. There's no vodka in there, and it is a school night. I have got work tomorrow, unfortunately. I could tell Alexa to turn on and off or change the colour of my keyboard and mouse. You know, I don't need all these options in my life. I'm going to be honest. I'm a manual, you know, fit, forget, switch on, switch off kind of guy. I don't want all these options. And it looks like the exposure's going all over the shop on this bloody camera now. What's going on here? I look really tanned and I look really white. Getting confused. A bit like me. Has he played a game yet, Future? No, I haven't. No, this stream isn't about game playing. None of my streams are ever about gameplay, but this one definitely is all about the streaming stuff. So I've just been playing. Now I am going to try something. Nah, I'm not going to try this because I know the reason why it doesn't work, so I don't need to try it. Shut up, Sean. Laugh out loud. You work in your game room. Same here. Well, yeah, but this ain't my game room, mate, is it? This is my office. This actually is my office. This is my main PC. I just happen to have a load of fucking gaming junk in here. Game room's next door. But yes, this is my office. This has been my office. Well, it is my office. Always has been my office. And actually, I bought a new chair as well. I got one of these. Just bought this. Just had it delivered last week. I'll show you. I mean, you won't be interested, but I'll show you because I'm that kind of guy. I like sharing. I bought one of these mesh chairs. But see how old school I'm still on wired mics here. Fucking, I need to sort that out as well. But yeah, I bought one of these mesh chairs. Look at that. Fucking beautiful. So it's mesh back, mesh headrest. I've got mesh bottom doobry. Yeah. I've had it just over a week. I was really suffering with my back. Really quite bad actually. Up before Christmas. And I think it's the old seating position. I'm doing pretty long hours just sat here smashing at this flaming keyboard, and that doesn't help. I thought I've got to get a decent seat. I've got to up the chair. I've got to go out and buy a decent chair because we ain't going to be going back to work for months yet. I mean, I can't see me being back in the office until bloody end of summer, I don't reckon. So I thought I need to go out, get some cash out and buy a decent chair. And I bought one of these. It was off Amazon by a company. Is it Shihoo? S-H-I Shihoo. SHIOO.co.uk. Amazon. £230. Ergo chair. I don't know, something like that. But it's, and I'm just starting to get used to it now. Yesterday, especially today, have been the first 2 days. I mean, it took me ages to get adjusted. There's so much adjustment on these things, and I reckon I've got the other chair really badly adjusted, and it's all right, but it's not really a proper chair. Not to sit for bloody 12 hours a day at your bloody PC, getting stressed. But I think I'm starting to get used to it. I got the arm heights right now on it, and you know, and I'm not got shooting pains all over me neck and all that lot, which is never a good sign, is it? But yeah, pretty good that is. Another useless bit of information, but yeah. So I've fully kitted out, guys. I've gone for it. It's a shame I can't show. Well, I suppose I could actually show you the. Oh, no, it's just a bloody light in it. But I bought these poles. Like I said, I bought these stands that they've got C clamps on. You connect to the back of your desk that you can put lights on and cameras on and all that stuff. They were like, I think I got them for about. I got them for £14. I think it was £14 each off eBay. I bought 2 of them. Don't really need 2 of them, but I bought 2 of them because I'm that kind of idiot. Yeah, so I bought that, and I bought an additional capture card so I can get the other camera going. I'm going over stuff that I probably said about an hour ago, but just for the new people that have tuned in and getting bored shitless thinking, what's this all about? Yeah, so I bought these RGB bulbs from eBay. They weren't that cheap actually, but it's because the cheap ones are shit. I mean, you think these ones are shit because they turn off. That I don't know what's going on there, because I've had these on quite a bit actually, and they've been absolutely fine. But I bought some cheap ones. They were like £7 a pop, £6 or £7 each. They were pretty small, but a normal screwing fitment. But they were really dim, bit like me really. But they're only 10 watts. These ones are 20 watts, and they're much better. They really are. I think these ones are okay to use outside as well. But the other ones I bought were again all RGB and remote control. These things here, but they're really small. I mean, the bulb is like fucking. Look at it. I mean, compare that with a normal bulb. It's like one of them things that you stick on your nose. The clowns have. Billy Smart's Big Top. So that's a normal LED bulb, and that was what. That was the eBay one. Look at that. It's like a little nipple, isn't it? In comparison. No wonder you couldn't see anything. Who's that? Oh, that's my mic gone. But I will undoubtedly reuse these somewhere else. I'll use them downstairs. Oh, I'll tell you something else I bought as well. You know, it's not gaming related, but I tell you what, it is brilliant. It is awesome. It was awesome, and I'm sure many of you guys have seen these or have got them already. I'm a bit behind the curve. like on most things. I've gone absolutely mental on eBay. I've got stuff coming every day on eBay. My missus goes, oh, you got another package. I said, yeah, it's eBay. These packages cost about £3 each. I've got 400 of them coming a day, but you know they're cheap. Is that I bought I bought these LED strips for the back of your TV. I'm sure you guys have seen this. We've got white walls downstairs in the living room. And we've got a sort of darkish, it's a reddish carpet, but it's not like bright red or anything, but it's, you know, and we've got the same sort of reddish purplish, but it's not, well, it sounds really sickly, doesn't it? But it's not. And we've got similar colour blinds in the windows, and we've got some similar coloured cushions, so it's a theme that runs throughout downstairs. Anyway, I went out and bought these LED strips that you get off eBay. I think they were for a TV, so they create a frame, but they're not a continuous strip. They've got these corner bits, but they're not corner bits. They're just wires that go from one strip to another, and it lets you go up, cross, down, and then across the bottom again. And it plugs into the USB port on the back of the TV. If you've got a TV that was produced in the recent life of Jesus, you know. So, but most TVs, in fact all TVs, I can't believe there's any out there that haven't got USB ports on them nowadays that haven't blown up. But yeah, so it was something like £7, £7.50. I thought, you know what, these are going to be shit, but I'm just going to buy them for £7.50. I don't give them monkeys. So yeah, they came the other night or the other day, and I've actually got what I did. I bought two things. I bought the continuous strip of LED lights, which is here, because I was going to put that up in here actually for a bit more sort of mood effect and all that lot. Oh no, I'm going to do that. I'm going to adjust the old light down, but yeah, yeah. So this one's the continuous strip, LED strip, exactly the same, like £7.50. I think that's a 5 metre length. And I was going to have that as an option potentially, putting up in here around the cabinets or stuff, because I wasn't sure whether these bulbs, which came just after I ordered these, whether they'd be bright enough. But actually they are, for a bit of sort of, you know, ambient mood lighting. I think they're all right. But yeah, so anyway, back to the TV thing. I'm digressing. I connected these up last night. No, the night before. And basically, you just, you know, they've got a sticky back to them. You peel it off, you know, run them around the back of your monitor. Well, you can actually do it on a monitor if you want to, but on the back of your TV, plug them in. Mega, absolutely brilliant. I mean, I'm so chuffed with them. So I can keep the main lights off now in the living room, and we've got some other red LED lighting round a big mirror in the living room on one of the walls, away from the TV. You can't see it, but it's enough for it to actually, the light comes into the part of the room where you're sitting down watching TV. So I've just made, and because we've got a fair bit of red in the room, I've made the LEDs red. So when I go down now, Mrs will be downstairs on the sofa, on the reclined sofa, flat out asleep. I'll keep 2 sets of red LED lights on, and you know, with the backlight on the back of the TV, these new ones, and it looks mega. It's really relaxing. It's nice and warm looking, because you get this reflection off the back of the TV onto the wall behind it. And like I said, because the wall's white, it's a real good, brilliant. I'm so chuffed with it for stupid money. And you don't have to touch them. They're just plugged into the USB port on the TV, and every time I turn it on, they just come on. When I turn it off, they turn off. You know, £7.50, brilliant. Made a massive difference to the room in the evening. Really have. So that's I bet that was really interesting for you guys to hear that shit. Future Matt saying Tesco done well out of you this year. Tesco's? What's Tesco's got to do with it? What you mean in respect to the the old lampshades that I used to use, the Tesco carrier bags as the light diffuser. Now we've moved on since those days. Ever since the police came round my house because it was a fire hazard. I think I was grassed up by Sega socks for that, to be honest. I remember doing that. What a twat. Just a friendly reminder, there are 20 viewers, Sean. Oh, there've been more than that, mate. Where have you been? Okay, peak we've had tonight so far has been 27. I think the people must have come on and thought, yeah, it's one of these streams again where he's not actually playing any games. We've just got a video of Outrun. There's not even Outrun, Afterburner. This isn't one of the normal streams. It's just a bit of a a bit of a chat. I'm not even drinking. Sega Socks is in the house. The mods are in. Jesus Christ, that's it. Everyone's going to leave now. Now we've got these two that just blinking ransack the chat. I can't get him to stop, Darren. Thing is, Matt, we can't even get you started. When the hell are you going to get this stream sorted out? You know, Darren's offered you all of his cast-offs from his pre 1970s streaming setup collection, because they'll go pretty well with. Oh, what's that? I can see that again. That V-Sync issue. That's weird. It like comes and goes. I can see that line going down the stream. Weird. Oh, yeah, whatever. Anyway, I'll look at that another lifetime when I can be asked. He's going for another world record. Let's support him get to 93 minutes on Afterburner title screen. Nobody's leaving any comments. Laugh out loud at Matt. This is going to be every stream. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, Matt, now you're making a big deal out of it, then this is the future of the streaming quality now on this channel. We're just going to speak shit for 2 hours. She's basically the same as a normal video of mine, but, you know, there we go. Maybe we can call it a moderator's round table. Yeah, it could do. You could do. It'll be a small round table in a minute, because I'm about to remove everybody's moderator rights. You're getting too lippy, you lot are. Did we ever get to the bottom of your... fucking hell. I'll tell you what, when I saw that on your stream, I thought, yeah, that's a hint for me to get out of here. Because I'm not about to have an in-depth conversation about my worst ever AV lead that I've bought. Fucking hell. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm like this when I'm sober. It's a very interesting, you know, you know me, Matt. What you see is what you get. There's no airs and grace. I don't put in any special show for anybody. This is it. This is raw and hardcore. What was it? Unplugged. This is me unplugged. This fucking sync's pissing me off. I don't know how to. Right, if anyone knows how I can sort this, Darren, can you sort this out for me? Because you're the expert on all this shit. It's weird because if I change that to 60 FPS now, and it was on 59.97 or something, it's on 60 now, it will be all right now. Right, so that's not causing a problem. But after a period of time, it will start getting a sync problem on it. Anyway, right. He's selling these LEDs now then. Is who selling them? I'm not selling them. eBay's selling them. Oh God, here we go. I'll tell you what, before you guys joined, right, we were talking about serious shit. Now we're just talking about how far behind I'm on these flaming comments. Epic LEDs like that. Well, I don't think it was epic. If I'm being honest, I'm not sure that was an epic story. I think it was. I think it's stretching the truth to say it was a story. That's one of them cool story bro things, isn't it? Yeah, I wouldn't. I would never say that was a cool story. I basically just wasted so much of your life telling you that, and you can never reclaim that time ever. I'm so sorry. I apologise. Please share more of your lighting tips for us all to enjoy. Well, that's it, mate. I'm all out. I'm actually all out of lighting tips, if I'm being honest. I've shot me bolt on lighting. I've gone full overdrive on it. I'm waiting to see. I'm waiting to see your setup, Daz, because you're bound to. Well, why don't you move the Christmas decorations that you'll basically leave out now till next Christmas from your living room upstairs into your gaming room? That'll be all right. That will be the next addition to your gaming room. Oh, all tech related questions will be ignored. Yeah, absolutely. Game suggestions opening up in the next 30 minutes. Yeah, not on this channel they won't be, mate. We're having no gaming requests this evening because it's 9:45. I've got to get downstairs and watch the rest of Cobra Kai that I'm trying to catch up on. Mark, good evening. How are you this evening? Sean, I'd just like to know that it's your fault I spent 2012 to 2014 knee deep in CRTs. My wife almost left me and my landlord thought I was a crazy person. Well, look, you know, it's the fact that your wife almost left you, then I think you need to buy me a drink, don't you? Because you should be celebrating that, surely. I'm saying that I don't know your wife, so you know that is a really bad thing for me to say. But in respect of losing your life to CRTs, right? Well, I'm not being funny, but you got off lightly because you only had that from 2012 to 2014. That's not long. So I definitely need to try harder because I need to consume more of your life with CRTs because you know it's like dogs and cats, pets. You know, a CRT is for life, not just for Christmas, as they say. Perhaps we can get an insight into Brokeback Lockdown. Matt, you do realise this was a tutorial stream. This was. It was about everything to do with how to set up your streaming setup. You should have tuned in at the start, actually. Because the quality of your streams at the moment could do with some eBay magic on them, I think. And you've totally changed the concept and context of this stream. I think we are possibly all done, guys. It's been a pretty good test. I think I've got the old angle of the dangle all right. I think it'll do. Not quite sure when I'm going to do the next stream. And my camera here is about to die on me. So it probably is a good time actually to say sayonara and good night. Yeah, this has been, you know, there's been no use of this stream whatsoever, but I hope you guys have had a little bit of fun and at my expense, obviously. And yeah, yeah, so my mind gone completely blank then. So I'm not actually quite sure when I'm going to do the next proper stream. Say proper stream, Jesus Christ. I'm trying to build it all up now. I'm not sure when I'm going to do the next one. I might try and get one in on Saturday evening actually, but you've got to be in the mood to do a full Del Monte gaming stream, don't you? I have to be really pissed. But hopefully I'll try and get something fired up for Saturday night. If not, I will see you guys fairly soon, I hope. Hope you have a good rest of the week. And we will see each other again soon, I hope. Bye for now, guys.